and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Good morning, everybody. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I've got a couple of recommended changes myself. So Betty's here, and she would like to add one other topic to her current topic, which is the vote, right? So, and what's the subject there, Betty?
Newspaper binders
Right.
at the depot.
Gotcha. So we'll add that. And another suggestion that I have is to see what you guys think. Should we move Betty's portion to the top so that we don't keep these guys here during the meeting? I mean, you're welcome to stay, but I mean, if you got other places to go, we could move it up.
So
That-
I would appreciate.
Yeah, that would be fine. I'll entertain a motion to do that.
You want to, or do you want to move it under the minutes? Approve of the
Yes.
minutes, be fine?
Correct. Yes, that's where I'd move it. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion
For approve the agenda or what?
to move it on the agenda.
Oh, just move that? Okay. Because I was going to add something to the agenda too.
Well, we can do that, but let's
Yeah.
move this one first. So can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Item.
Motion carries. So we're going to move you guys to the third item on the agenda. We don't have one, so I don't know. Any other notes on the agenda?
Can we, I know we talked about it before and we haven't, since the last one obviously is about the comments of citizens part still. Where we allow the, like Katie's here and she didn't know about our meeting. Can we add that to their, to the agenda for, there's no one here for comments of citizens other than them two that are on the agenda, I guess.
They are.
But I
on
mean,
the
if somebody else would have showed up, they wouldn't have been able to spoke really.
Well, I think we have a sign-up sheet for that, don't we?
They get put on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yeah, just it needs to be put on there, I guess. We were going to do the sign-up sheet thing, but I didn't see it on. I thought, well, maybe something changed. So, I don't know.
So what's the suggestion here?
I mean, I just like to give it the opportunity for taxpayers, they want to come speak. We talked about giving them, I think, around 5 minutes and they have to sign up with, just kind of how the commissioners and council.
Well, we got to have some way of controlling the time, right? So, so are you wanting to add that to next month's agenda?
Just from moving forward, all of it's just kind of a standing item. Just comments of citizens and say who signs up, speaks, who doesn't. Moving on, they limit it to 5
How would
minutes.
they sign up?
They typically just put like a notepad out there, I think. That's all they've had. I think it's what the commissioners and council does. I don't know exactly.
It's just a piece of paper set right
Yeah.
in front.
Right there.
Just like a notepad or something.
Yeah, well, I think there's just a little bit of a form you just put your name on.
Yeah.
And the president looks at it and invites the people up for 3 minutes. And
You just give them 3 minutes even, so yeah.
3 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
I thought we voted on that the last time.
It's in our minutes that we did,
voted it
yes.
down.
It's just not on the
We vote
agenda.
moving every meeting.
Yeah, but we voted on it last meeting and we voted it down, didn't we?
Board tied 3-3 and motion dies according to
Yeah.
the minutes.
So what happens when a motion dies? It's gone?
It can be brought back up repeatedly, but it's the convention at council that acted on and decided, and it's generally not brought up again and again and again.
So I got a question. Why are we against that? If the county is commissioners, if they're doing it and it works, why are we so against that? Is there a reason? I mean,
I think it's a
educate me.
time element on how long it takes, stuff like that, where you have more control if they get on the agenda the next time, then we can fit it into the schedule. That was my opinion of it.
But we're such a small entity compared to the whole county, and it doesn't run them that long because they put the 3-minute limit on it. I mean, that's what I don't understand.
Do you also, like, if for example, we had 15 people here, do we have the ability to limit the number of people at that point? Or do we have to give all 15 people?
I
3
wouldn't think
minutes?
so. I mean, freedom of speech is freedom of
But,
speech.
you know,
We're gonna offer it to one, you're gonna offer it to.
Well, that's my
I
question.
can't imagine 15 people here. I can't imagine 5 people here. I mean,
We
We had a whole
never
room
had
full of them
that.
back in March,
Yeah, we
but
had a
that
whole
was
bunch of
that was probably a unique situation.
But if you have 5 people, that's 15 minutes. I mean, I don't know. I just don't understand what the deal is when the commissioners in the county, they're all doing it and it works. And they don't have that many people.
I think the perception would be the more public input we have, the better.
Yeah.
But again, it hasn't been a problem for us, but again, I don't know the history of this organization.
Can we not go forward with it? And if it becomes a problem, then we change it?
I'm hearing crickets.
I mean, yeah, I thought it was just, I know it's a comment. I mean, I think we should go forward with it.
Well,
It's-
in the bylaws, in the Indiana bylaws, basically, it is the way we have it set that you get put on the agenda. You know, Betty's done that a time or two, and I think we just have better control. It's not that they can't speak, they can speak, they just need to get on the agenda, so that's where I come from, but
But if somebody shows up wanting to speak and doesn't know that process, they have to wait a whole other month.
But like Katie took off work to come today. So we expect them to come back, take off work next month?
Because if you hadn't known that process, they showed up going to speak under comments of citizens, you wouldn't have ever done that then. Technically, you wouldn't be able to today.
This'll be
But
my
you're
last
Betty's-
appearance in front of
But
you,
you're
so I
Betty's,
have to
you're
figure
kind of
it
speaking
out.
on Betty's part of Betty, but it says Betty Cash on the agenda, it doesn't say Katie Bonner.
That's
So
correct.
Is she allowed to speak?
I'm coming with her
She's coming with
to
you.
introduce her.
So just, I know I'm splitting hairs with that, but I just think it's important for taxpayers to have the transparency, the opportunity to speak to us, and that's fine. So I'll make a motion to add it to the agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I-
negative, I vote against it.
All right, well, it looks like it carries. So all right, next item is, so is the agenda, okay, so the agenda's ready to go, right? I needed a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second it.
Motion carries. So just to reiterate then, starting next month, we will put a sign-up sheet up here for people to sign up for a 3-minute. If they wish to address the board for 3 minutes, they can do that.
That's correct.
And we'll give that, and we'll see if it's no issue, it's no issue,
And
right?
chances are we'll probably have no one. I would be shocked if we had one.
Very good.
That's great. If not, no big deal.
So, the reason for I'm hesitating now is right now we're without a secretary. And so I didn't know if we ought to record this so that we can come back and grab
It is.
what we got it recorded there so we can grab the minutes from there if we have to. Very good. So moving on, we moved Betty up. So, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I got to approve the minutes. Minute approval from February 4th. Did everybody have a chance to go over those?
I did.
Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstained because I didn't get to read them. I didn't see the minutes, so I'll abstain from that.
Okay, Steve abstains. So the vote passes, so motion carries. Now, Betty's up.
Can I go first, Betty?
Well, I'm going to introduce you. Thank you for.
Yeah, we don't know who she is. We
Yeah,
don't know.
thank you for letting us speak today. I'm sorry that it didn't work out last month. You moved in the meeting for me and a Tizzy, and I had plans. We're here representing Scenic Lincoln Way. I'm the board president, and today I brought with me Katie Papano, who will speak about the Abraham.
Okay.
Well, I've been before you 2 other times, so you know the project and what's at hand. And since I'm still appealing for money, you might be thinking, what does she need money for? The boat's paid for, the motor's paid for, and the trailer's paid for. Well, the sheet in front of you is answering that question. these are the expenses I will have for the next 3 years. And from here on out, you're paying for the big trip in 2028, which will, be the reenactment of Lincoln's trip from Rockport to New Orleans. So anyhow, these are I've got storage at Rocky Point, I've got insurance costs, license costs. These are the things required by the Coast Guard, and that's who I have to answer to. And they're all safety things, as you can see. I haven't acquired any of them yet. I'm waiting. First of all, I was waiting to get the insurance quote because I wasn't sure what it was going to be and what I could afford. But this will all be done. And hopefully the boat will be in the water by June. And I cannot sell tickets. I cannot be a commercial operation, but I hope to thank major donors. And so the boat will be seen on the water. So this is what's needed. Most, again, it's looking forward to the future, getting social media for the actual trip and stuff. And there'll be a lot of expenses with the trip. That's the last category right there. So again, I appreciate you having me here. Thank you for your consideration. This will be my final appeal. So, I've said all I can say and you have all the information I think that you need.
Okay.
So I'll leave you to it.
Quick question.
Yes.
You mentioned it, and again, I appreciate the frankness with the way you present this. But you mentioned that the insurance depended on how much you can afford. So is it?
No. The insurance depended on a professional inspector who came out. It cost me $1,100 to have him. He gave us a glowing account to this insurance company in Cincinnati that has a marine division. And they came up with a quote. However, the insurance will not kick in until we put the boat in the water and it floats.
Understood. So my question is are you paying for that, or is Scenic Lincoln Way paying for it?
Oh, Scenic Lincoln Way is paying
Okay,
for
all right.
everything. Yeah.
All right, very good.
But you saw the last time I have substantially subsidized
You
the
have,
project.
For sure.
So, but it all went through the Scenic Lincoln Way. I made a contribution to Scenic Lincoln Way. So every check written has been from the Scenic Lincoln Way.
Thank you very much.
And the donation that she's asking for from the CVB would go through Scenic Lincoln Way into the account.
And
So there is a separate account for the boat, for Lincoln?
Scenic
for
Lincoln
the-
Way, yeah, we have.
For the Abraham, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
yeah, I've got the spreadsheet, which I can,
That's fine, but so, again, I'm sorry. So you have Scenic Lincoln Way, and then you have an account that's specific to the Abraham. Is that right?
It's Abraham's under our account.
we're
Our
actually
accountants
the only activity in the account.
at the moment.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very
It's
good.
the
Thank you,
project
Kate.
that we're running right now. We use Wes Terry as our accountant also. If you wanted to check with Wes, because I know he's your accountant.
Very good.
He does all of our work.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Katie.
Katie.
So then, I don't know if you plan on discussing that today or if, but we're asking for help.
Okay.
For the boat, either a one-time, nice size donation or something, if you wanted to break it down into the next 3 years.
Betty, I'm unfamiliar with this.
Oh,
I apologize
yes.
for maybe getting back to elementary. This Scenic Lincoln Way is organized how? As a 501c3 or?
Yes, we're a 501c3. We started in 2014 when the train ride started. That was our mission, to connect Perry and Spencer County via rail, trail, and river. We have done everything but trail. And our mission now just develops into Perry County, not Spencer County.
And the long-term plan is to to take people on.
Yes, rides will start in June. And like Katie said, we can't sell you a ticket, you a ticket, and you a ticket. We sell the CVB a ticket and you pay the same price. You'll make let's say a $500 donation and 5 of your people come on the boat. We can't sell individual tickets. It has to be a donation, and that's how we get by with being able to afford to do it from the insurance standpoint. Only 14 people will be on the boat at the max. They will take excursions on the Ohio. will be stored at Rocky Point. And then in 28, when we reenact the Abraham Lincoln trip from here down to New Orleans, it's gonna be like a little, almost 3-week excursion. So there's different groups, there will be cars following it and different people following it, and you'll do the first 2 days, however many days you wanna do. We know all the ports we're going to, and then you might wanna do the whole 3 weeks, and then there'll be different people get on and off. And when the boat gets there, the boat will be sold. Yeah, we will sell the boat.
Which ironically is that's what they did when they would
That's
take
what
the
they've always
excursion,
done.
when they would take, it's not excursion boats, but the flat boats and other ones, they would sell them down, and a lot of these homes down like in New Orleans, they're built out of boats,
Flat boats.
flat boats and the pilot houses and things like
Because they
that.
couldn't bring them back up, it's too hard.
Yeah,
And
just,
the lumber was worth something once you got there.
Uh-huh.
So sold it and walked home, yes.
just thought it was a weird history tidbit.
Yeah,
Betty, are you doing any advertising to promote all of that, or?
yes, we've reached out, we're doing advertising, reaching out to different groups, and
It's just a suggestion too, if you wanted to get with Eric sometime. I think this board is totally open to helping promote that.
okay,
So, we have a digital marketing company that we've working with that will do social media marketing. We'd be happy, I don't mean to speak for the board, but I would think that we would be fine with helping you promote that.
Yeah, I attended your meeting. Was that in January, February? That was,
February.
and we talked about different, like thinking outside the box as far as attending some of these 250-year anniversary river festivals, towns you're going to be going through and stuff. And just promoting it that way. Like if Katie had a booth, she
Yeah,
could take our banners, she could
talked
hang
about
our
that.
brochures and kind of help each other out and stuff. And I think people when she talks in those historic groups and when she talks with people that know the river and stuff, Katie has the way of, her passion, shines through and
Yeah.
stuff. So
And she's been, I don't know how many, I know it's over 50 to 75 talks that she's given across the tri-state
Yeah.
concerning the boat.
What if we, say we decide to give X number of dollars towards this, we can obviously start out small and give more later as time goes on, continue to give more and more if whatever. But what if we set aside so much money for marketing of it, and you just to give us up, we do the marketing on behalf of you guys. Like we would pay for special ads on social media or, literature or banners. So we wouldn't be giving you the money cash to you, but you just say, here's a marketing plan. We budget as much as this, what we like to see it go towards. Sounds great. We do it.
Yeah,
Would that
I
help
very
you
much
guys?
appreciate that idea, but the list that she gave you are the things that we have to pay for.
Okay.
And that's what we're requesting the money for.
Why does the advertising?
Some of those things, we are also working, I have been talking to Mulzers about a marine radio and other things like that. So some things we're trying to get that way, but those are the things that we have to do to complete our project, and that's what we're asking your help in.
I was looking at the advertising at the bottom, that's why I suggested
Yeah.
maybe that's something a category that we
Yeah.
could.
But I mean, that would be the last thing I would ask for, because we have ways of doing that. I still have a lot of my old contacts. That has really helped.
What kind of a market is there for this boat itself, having not seen it, not knowing what we've got? Once it gets down there, are we just expecting it to sell? Again,
I
help me
mean,
out here.
once we have, and we did, we've had a lot of different articles about us in different papers and stuff like that. And it's something that you don't get to do very often. So it is a piece of history. It is something that people will want to do. It won't be a lot of people. That's the only problem. We can't put when we do the train rides, we put 100 people on there and sell 100 tickets. But for the boat, 14, and that's counting your crew. So we can't make a lot of money off of the tickets from there. But it will be a hot commodity. It will be something that people will want to do.
But I was talking about selling the boat. at the end.
Yeah. And there's ways to work on that. The gentleman who built the boat has built several, and he is guiding us in what to do. You know, it would be great to sell
What
it,
to do to make it sellable or what to do to make it?
to be able to find people to buy it and do that. You know, like we'd like to find a Lincoln museum somewhere. You know, just maybe Lincoln City would buy it and we would ship it back home. You know, we have a strategy on how we have to do that.
Say, I wish we could keep it here in Perry County at some point and make it incorporate into the Shubal Pioneer Village, because that's, you know, you think of Pioneer, you don't get much more Pioneer than that.
The other thing that might have been stated on, like,
It's really neat.
along with Lincoln's trip down, you know, to New Orleans, she made a couple, I believe, that they brought, Katie has talked about, they brought people into this area and the westward expansion, the first 75 years of the country. There's all these old movies and they're in horse and buggy or, you know, wagon, it's covered wagon rather. But you don't really see the promotion of the flatboat, but
Yeah,
that really
that
brought a
was
lot
for
of
most
people. Yeah.
people. Sometimes next time she's giving one, I think it's April the 22nd, but Brad, I will check that date and let you know. She's my speaker at Kiwanis and she's gonna give us an update and she brings everything with her. If you would have time that day, it would be phenomenal for you to come and listen to her story.
Let me know. when
I'll let you
happens.
know.
I would
I'll
really
shoot you
like-
an email.
I was gonna ask, is there a photograph of it anywhere online that he can look at it?
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
can go look at it in person.
yeah,
Yeah, but I'm saying
even.
now, he's
Yeah.
curious.
Oh.
yeah. We have tons of photos. I'll get you information. Oh, well, and you know where Katie lives too, and I'm saying this to everybody. I know this is live. It's, we go to meetings at Katie's and she does craft classes there and, you know, makes all that fancy jewelry and sterling and it's nothing to beat her house. Knock, knock, knock. I'd like to tour your building. Number one, it's a historic building. I come to see the information on the Abraham. She has a whole room with the old glow room.
Glow room on Main Street.
She lives in the old glow room.
Okay.
That's her house.
And a model, we had a model built per scale of this boat. It has everything on it. The barrels that they put the flour in, the water, everything. But yeah, but I'll give you that she's speaking at Kiwanis for me in April to give us an update.
I know the Gross family and
Yes,
the
they
Grandview
did.
folks had done.
They did the other one 50
Yes.
years ago.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
47 years ago.
Yeah.
It'd be 50 and 28.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the other thing.
Okay,
Okay, and I had this for the last month's agenda. When the CVB started, they used to cut out newspaper articles, you know, like important things, anything from a kid setting a school record to a new business that was coming, new murals, you know, the bicentennial torch relay, all that stuff's there. Anything in the Perry County News, and you know, used to, it was 60 pages twice a week. We would cut out those articles and we would put them in sheet protectors, in binders by the years. And they are stored in your copy room. Now that you guys are not open for, you know, and people used to come in and we would look up stuff all the time, you know, for them and help them find information. If you're not going to do anything with those books, and you know, my greatest fear is that you're going to leave and they're just going to get put in the trash. The Perry County Chamber, I'm representing them today. I work part-time for them. We would like to have those books if you want to get rid of them. You know, if you want to keep them there, we have no problem with that whatsoever. But I just want you to know that we don't want them to go in a dumpster.
Okay.
There's just too much history there and we would love to have them. You know, please do not throw those books
and
away.
those are currently in the copy room at the
On
depot.
a shelf.
Okay.
There on the end.
I think we should look at
Okay.
those.
There's just too much history there to throw
We'll
away.
make sure that nothing happens. to them.
Yeah, just please don't
Yep.
let them get thrown away. So
Very good.
here-
Thanks,
thank
Betty.
you. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Barry, if we do decide to do something with those, I check with Chris Hammock, there's a process, because those might be considered like a documents of some
They
sort.
very well could be. That's why we got
That has to have a process, so I don't know if you knew that or not, so I just wanted to, didn't want us to get in trouble before anything.
Very good. All right. Next item on the agenda is we need a secretary. Cindy Taylor has resigned her position on the board along with her position as secretary. So I would like to have a discussion and hopefully nominations for secretary for this board.
I nominate Chris Creel.
I have a nomination on the floor.
Well, thank you, I guess. I don't mind doing it. What's the pay? No.
Twice as much as what I
All
make.
right. Zero. I'm being sarcastic. No.
That's-
But yeah.
And would you?
I would,
accept that
I would
nomination?
accept it, yeah.
Do we have any other nominations? Nobody? Okay. Are we ready to vote?
Second, I'll make the second.
Okay, there's a second. So all in favor of Chris Kale taking over the secretary position on the board of the CVB, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously,
Oh, wow.
Mr. Secretary.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I can do it.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Financial report, Mr. Stimley.
Okay, got quite a few things going on here. One thing that we're working on right now, we've always had this sheet, we had all the information on. I think, Eric, you're working on updating this thing, right?
Okay, yeah.
And,
What sheet is that?
This is all of the deposits made from 2010 all the way through 25.
Innkeepers.
I've got it from, this is what I got from 25.
No, this is the old one. That's another one.
That's the same one, ain't it? That, it's just updated. Stan did that.
Yeah.
This is for January 2025.
This is by the account numbers. These are by.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's
Oh, is that
different. Yeah, this here is one that was been going on forever, and it got lost in the shuffle, when we didn't have anybody available. So we're gonna try to get this updated for the next meeting so we can pass this out. You can do comparisons on where we came from, where we're going, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna jump around here a little bit. One of the things that I did in February, actually March 5th, I'll report it now though. We closed out the 1801 account. So that account is closed out completely.
So all of our funds rest within the Perry
17.
County Convention and Visitors Bureau Commission.
1701 account, yes.
17.
That has been done.
Good.
And that was the former nonprofit account, right?
That's correct. All right. So, as the treasurer, I'm just getting my feet wet on this whole thing. I just want to explain a few things the way I understand. I talked to West Terry on a couple of different occasions, and I talked to him again yesterday. And the ramp account is tied totally into the 1701 account. The ramp account does not have anything to do with the Indiana Trust account. And on the ramp account, Eric is on the internet to get the information, and I'm also trying to get set up to be on that as well. So we'll need to approve the expenses off of the ramp account here before I get finished, but I'm going to come back to that in just a few minutes. The Indiana Trust account is an account that what happens is in the 1701 account, we're going to maintain a balance right now. This can be changed, but right now it's set up at $15,000. Okay. So when West Terry's office will sweep the money out that's going into the 1701 account. If we got more than 15,000, he'll put it into the Indiana Trust account, and they'll sweep that over. The Indiana Trust account, the administrator on the Indiana Trust account is West Terry. I don't have any insight, and nobody on this board has any insight on that.
We don't have access to it.
We don't
Should
have
we?
access to it. I guess the question I have is, should we? We can set up one other person to do it, if that would be the president or whoever that would be, or do we just leave it as is? That's a question we can discuss. And
I think we should. I really think we should have at least, just in case something happens, and it wouldn't matter if it's to me as treasurer or president, probably treasurer, just seems more logic that,
Well, Wes couldn't make it today. He had some kind of commitment at Evansville, so, what I think I'd like to do is maybe put this on the agenda for the next meeting, and then you guys can talk about it a little bit more on it. From what I understand, if we did do that, whoever we put on there, decide to put on there, they need all their information. I mean, everything, including your second born, but, that's an issue I think we need to look at and discuss. So right now, he has the total control on that. The other thing is, on your balance sheet, he sent this out yesterday, all the financial information. Hopefully you guys got it. It would have been last evening.
Yeah.
I had a call in on it, to make sure we get it. And the key thing with this information that he sends, this is going to be pertaining to the 1701 account, okay? And this information here will always be 1 month in arrears. And the reason for that is, and this is information for January, if you look at it, it's information for January. And the reason that is that everything on this is totally reconciled throughout the month. So therefore, they couldn't have February reconciled for this meeting, in other words. So the time frame is the key there. So when you're looking at this, you're always looking at this 1 month in arrears. So this is January, next month it'll be February, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what this is all about. And then the ramp account, which I gave everybody a copy of here this morning. These are charges that Eric has a credit card. I think your limit on it's $4,000. Am I correct on that?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a card. I can't get it set up. I'm still working to try to get everything set up. And I have $1,000 on my credit card. But these charges on this particular form is what Eric pretty well charges throughout the month. This could be for a number of different things. I don't know if we ever gave you a limit on what you can charge. That's something that we might want to consider here too. Can he charge up to $500 without getting board approval or whatever? I don't think we ever.
had that.
Did we set that?
we did set something like that, but I have to go back. And I might be confused, it was another board I'm on,
Yeah,
but
because case in point, when we were at the Louisville show, we discussed like, man, it would be nice to have a banner with our, places to stay, cabins and stuff. So I designed that and had that printed with Barry's approval, and Steve had known about it. $294, and that was at both the indie shows. So, but I was like, yeah, that should be something like it's under 300. I ran it by people, but it was kind of that value added purchase.
The thing of it is, I
They
want
couldn't wait for board
to
approval.
avoid micromanaging to the point where we cripple ourselves.
Exactly.
We, thus far, I mean, we've been using common sense with what we need, and we meet every month. I mean, if anything out of the ordinary comes up, we'll catch it then, right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to give everybody a copy of this ramp account, and then we can, if it's his charges or my charges, we can explain it and go from there. But I'm thinking, I would think that we ought to give him $500, but that's, whatever you guys.
Just from my experience and for what it's worth, at the Anderson Fire Department, where I was treasurer or president for a long time, we essentially had a $500 limit, okay, on operational expenses, et cetera. Excuse me, I apologize. Operational expenses and things that had to be paid, there was no limit on, but any unusual purchases, there was a limit of $500, and those needed to be brought to the board the next meeting. Something like that, I think, would solve Barry's issue of not micromanaging and still have our oversight to large amounts of money that could leave in the account.
I'd like to see a motion. I agree with that. I'd like to see a motion on that.
I make that motion.
I'm gonna make that motion that we give him up to $500 to expend, and then, we'll look at it the next month. I mean, we can go from there, but I think that gives him some latitude. We've had a few issues, with the ramp card. I sort of explained those to you guys here a little bit earlier, so But we're on top of all of that now. There's receipts and everything being put in there, so everything has to be approved. And West Terry gets to see it immediately as well. So it's not just Eric, it's immediately looked at by the CPA.
Appropriate oversight.
Right, so that's another.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
For clarification, just a flat $500 limit. Is that what you're describing, Steve? Or
Yeah, I
Per
know.
purchase, I'm talking.
Per transaction.
Per transaction.
per transaction?
Yeah, because he's going to,
Oh, sure.
he needs more than $500
Right,
to
exactly. I'm
operate.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
And most purchases will be pre-approved. I mean, the main example is that banner there that was, I was like, it's gotta wait, there was talk of bring it to the board. It's like, next board meeting's after the Indy show. We have to have this for the
Right,
Indy
right,
show,
right.
so.
Well, another example is, he stayed in a hotel up there, we were up there 2 different weekends we were up there from Wednesday to Sunday and
Yeah.
on one weekend from Wednesday to Sunday, first weekend, right?
Yeah, Friday to Sunday and then Wednesday to Sunday. 8 days total, 6 nights.
So that's at the hotel. So he's gonna have a hotel charge.
but that's not an unusual expense.
No, but that was pre-approved.
That's pre-approved,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
right.
So it would be like that if I had to design a banner or,
So the motion on the table or on the floor is to have a $500 limit per purchase without approval.
Right.
Anything over $500 for a purchase requires board approval. Is that, as I understand it?
That's
And
correct.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Item,
Any opposed? That motion carries.
okay, that's what you have in there. All right, and then, I got a whole bunch of things here. I'm sorry, I'm taking a little time, but I just want to get some clarity on all of this. I got thrown into the treasurer's spot in December.
You were nominated and elected.
you said thrown in or thrown in?
Just the way
Drug in.
Chris was nominated and elected secretary.
So, Stanley resigned, so he wasn't there at the time, so I picked it up like middle of January, so I wasn't familiar with all the ramp and everything that was going on, so I've been trying to get myself educated this last month and trying to meet with West Terry as much as possible on all of this, so I think I've got a handle on it in regards to when I need to request the monies from the auditor's office or treasurer's office, to get it deposited in the timeframes and all of that. So I got that all down. So what has happened, as FYI, and therefore, this sheet always had a monthly deposit on it. So, based on those appropriate requests. So I'm not saying I was appropriate the first couple of months, but we did have a withdrawal, in December. This came out, I think, December 11th, right around our meeting, from the county auditor, Chris Hammock's office, of $29,517. That was in December, okay. We had the second one that came out from the request from Chris's office, and this was February the 9th. So we did not take one out in January. So February 9th, we had another one come out. That was $25,555.01. So therefore, when I got this all squared away, I was going to see what we had in February. Because that sucked everything pretty well dry as of February 9th. So I was going to do it I have to do it before the 10th of the month in order to get it out of there, because they don't have everything deposited into their accounts until that time. So March 5th, I met with them again, and what was in the fund at that time was $5,942. It was $5,942. So it's what's happening here is, since the Holiday Inn Express is down, and we're not getting any revenue from those guys, this has dropped significantly. And at the same time, I can tell you, as a cabin owner, that, you know, we don't have that many rentals in the wintertime. We just don't. I don't think too many other people do either. So our revenue has dropped significantly. So I don't think February is a good month to determine it as an average. I think we need to look, you know, maybe in April, May, or June as an average. But our revenue has dropped significantly. I had asked Eric to check with the Holiday Inn Express as to when they think they'll be up and running again, and what did they tell you?
Yeah, they, the manager said tentative date will be July right now, everything that goes according to plan. I will keep you posted once we will be ready to open. Regards. And I had asked about, you know, I didn't want to press him on, you know, construction details or how's it going. You know, he just said July. So that kind of was bumped from tentatively in June to July. So it is what it is.
So we're gonna have a pretty dramatic drop in our innkeepers' revenue for at least till July, I'm sure. I guess my second question would be, Chris, is when, are we ever gonna get that other hotel?
I had a meeting with Joseph last week, and he's getting some things finalized, and I feel more confident about it now. So I hope to God's, yes, he breaks ground very soon, I hope.
Yeah, and that's a Hampton Inn, right?
Yes, yes, he mentioned Hampton Inn at one of our meetings, and he's told me that, so yeah.
Okay.
So he did, the room, it increased by, I don't remember how many, 7 or so. It seemed like the room count and some changes they made, so there'll be more rooms even in it.
Okay.
So this is what I'm getting from that discussion, Steve, is that we typically have anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 a month in revenues,
Yeah.
kind of stretching that a little bit. But right now, we're kind of in the red, right? Because
Right.
we're, instead of the 12 to 15,000, we're down around 5,000. So we're missing about $8,000 to $10,000 a month in revenue.
Correct.
So was we getting that kind of money just off of the Holiday Inn?
I know
I mean,
that,
that's
I
what I
don't,
don't
That
nobody,
sounds like a lot.
nobody
That's
knows. I don't think so. I don't think it's just a Holiday Inn.
That happened the week of Christmas as well. So that was,
Yeah.
you know, people
Well-
coming home for Christmas and New Year's are staying there, you know.
The answer to Linda, to your concern, I went to the auditor myself 2 months ago, I think, to try to get a listing of what each entity contributed to the
Innkeeper.
innkeeper's tax, thank you. And I was told that because of privacy concerns, they couldn't give me what this particular entity contributed or what that particular entity contributed. They could only give me the total. And their suggestion to me was to just track it and look at what the past years has done. I'm getting a head shake here.
Barry, may I say something? There is a law that
Yeah.
the treasurer of your organization is privy to that information.
Absolutely.
It's an Indiana law.
You have to sign up some papers for that.
Eric, you can reach out and get the information, but we had to sign a paper every year with Amanda in the treasurer's office. And I and our treasurer have ability to see that. I
Yeah.
never shared that. That is a law.
That's the thing. I've signed that and like I could look at that, but
Yeah,
I can't share it, you
We
know.
don't
You cannot, I
Yes,
never
yeah.
shared it,
Right.
crossed my heart, never did anything wrong, but then.
Well, what's the use of having it if you can't share it?
And I also,
But those two people know who to talk to and where to work it and where to do it.
What it has to do is,
So in other words, he can find out how much revenue the Holiday Inn
A,
has.
B, C, D, E, F, G.
I understand that, but he's not allowed to tell us.
No,
and the only little, I don't
Then just-
and
want
so can Steve, the treasurer and the
Okay.
CBB director.
I didn't know the
Yeah.
treasurer. I thought that,
You're the treasurer, you get it.
But I
too.
do it-
My
But again, it
treasurer
doesn't do
comes
us any
to me
good.
every year.
well, it would help. I think what Betty's saying, I think we could talk to these people and see what,
Is it Tell City getting the business? Is it Derby getting
Yeah.
the business? Then let's concentrate where we're not moving them.
the one thing, the little hiccup with that is that like Airbnb and Vrbo, like, so if somebody goes to the Holiday Inn or somebody goes to Steve's Cabin and writes a check, pays with a card, whatever, and book through the innkeeper, it goes through the county. But if you book online with Airbnb, then it goes straight to the state and comes
But you
back.
can still see that. You can still see it.
Okay.
The one thing that I think,
I can see it. I can get online and see
So
that.
I need to
All right,
go to
let's-
the treasurer
Go
and
talk
get
to Amanda.
Amanda.
Yeah, Amanda Lasher.
what it is, it's a way to audit it, to see if you find out someone's not paying it. We can't talk up, but the treasurer could say, wow, they're not collecting the tax like it should be. That was kind of another way that they could,
Well, I introduced myself as the president of this organization. She said she could not give me
No,
that information.
you can't.
Yeah.
She said that she could not give me that information, but she did not tell me that the treasurer could get it. So, all right, so we'll go about it that
Okay,
way.
I didn't know that either. I knew he possibly could get it. Okay.
If I could easily find my law, I'll send it to you.
No, that's fine, that's fine.
Well, we'll
So-
get this.
All I'm saying is we're, instead
So sure,
of,
get a new website, go to these shows, just
instead of bringing in 12,
these
13,
reports,
14,
Hold on.
I'm just don't like three
I'm
conversations
sorry,
going on.
I apologize.
Instead of having 12 or 13,000 a month coming in revenue, we've only got 5,000 coming in. And so I think as a board, we need to make plans on how we're going to deal with that. Now, we've got some reserves that we can supplement our monthly account with. If we need to, we'd have to pull it from the Indiana program if we had to do that. But we just need to be aware and ready to do that if we need to.
Just a FYI, based on, this report here, which is why I think it's extremely valid, is that if you look on here for 15 years or 20 years, our January, February, March time is really our least amount of innkeepers we get in. So I don't think that February is a good, definitely board read. Is it going to be 5,900 or, it could be higher than that, but it's definitely not going to be what it has been till July. So we'll have a reduction either way. So I'm saying that the average is, the 5,900 is most probably not.
So we
the
had
average.
5,000 come in February, is that what you're saying?
Yes, a little bit. Actually, I think part of that 5,900 came in. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Well, in
5,900.
2024, we only had 7,000.
That's what I'm saying. So
All
that's what I'm saying.
makes
It's not I think what we need to do, what I would suggest we do is we need to review this each month going forward till July and understand that we may have to take some money out of reserves or whatever. Right now, we're in pretty good shape. But if we're gonna follow the budget exactly, and our revenue that we have in our budget is not gonna sustain what we had budgeted to expense. That's what I'm saying. So therefore, we might have to pull some out of reserve possibly to maintain the budget as is. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, I've got a few more things. When you got this report here from Wes yesterday, if you look at the profit loss statement, it says we're losing a lot of money. And the reason for that is that I didn't get that draw in time for it to show up on here. So that's why that's totally distorted. Just FYI. Couple other things before we get into payments. We had CDs in the Everdy Jones account, 4 of them and some cash. They all came due. I reported last month on March the 3rd. That money came due, and I went and as of yesterday, transferred all of that money into the 1701 account. So the Everdy Jones account is at a 0 balance right now, and that's all into the 1701 account. So what will happen is Wes will most probably sweep that money into the Indiana Trust account sometime in the future. So that is closed as well, if that all makes sense. So right now, the Indiana Trust account, when that money's sitting in there, and this is a question we need to ask ourselves. The Indiana Trust account, that interest level varies. And it's very close to what the CD rates are in the bank. For example, The bank right now is paying 3.75 on a 1 year, and if you're shorter, it could be 3.8. If it's longer, it could be 3.8. The Indiana trust account, as of yet a couple of days ago, I was told by Wes that it's paying 3.6%. So it's very close to a CD if you had it in the bank. The difference is that if you have a CD in the bank and you need that money and you pull it out, you'll usually have a penalty of some sort coming out of there. You'll either lose the interest, and in some banks, you might even lose some of the principal. So if you're in the Indiana trust account, we can take that money in and out without any penalty. So if we need more, 15,000 doesn't cover it sometime, we need to draw more down, we're not taking penalties, we can just pull it out, sweep it back from the Indiana trust account in there. So my recommendation is that at this time, unless, and open for discussion, is I would say that we keep the money in the Indiana trust account. I mean, we're talking a point or two, maybe difference in the interest level, but it gives us more flexibility. We could most probably pick up a 1/10% one way or the other if we went into the bank. So my suggestion is, I don't think we need to vote on it, but if you want to vote on it, that we keep the money and just keep it in the Indiana trust account and not do CDs in the bank.
A comment on that, I attended an Association of Indiana Counties meeting where the trust account was, the Indiana Trust Organization was discussed. That is a state, it's supposed to be a very conservative organization that takes that money and invests it in essentially safe or value stocks, okay? And some of that is subject to the way the market is going. You need to be aware of that. Again, it's not as, we're not accepting the risk of owning those stocks, but the Indiana Trust is paying interest based on their returns when they invest that money. So that can be kind of flexible as well. Do you know how often Indiana Trust changes their rates?
I do not, I can.
don't either.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just getting into it myself, so that's one of the first questions I had with Wes, so he.
I think we discussed months ago when we were talking to Wes about the Indiana Trust account, that for simplicity's sake and to kind of eliminate some of the complexities involved, because we had CDs all over the place, man. We had German American, we had the other place here in town, Edward D. Jones, and I just thought it was our policy now, or our plan to move everything to the Indiana Trust account because it is accessible and they are competitive from an interest rate standpoint, and we know where all of our funds are. It was hard to keep track of where all of our funds were because we had a commission account, we had a nonprofit account, we had a German American account, and we had a Edward Jones account, and all this stuff. So I agree with Steve. I think we should probably sweep everything into the Indiana Trust.
Personally, I've done exactly what you described. But again, pardon me,
It's not a good thing.
to,
Do it all in that.
I've heard criticisms about Indiana Trust. I don't think I think some people get alarmed about it, but it's worth mentioning is all I'm saying. And having some money in the local banks would be perfectly fine, et cetera. I mean, and supporting our local institutions. But I understand the simplicity and the availability of funds. But I believe just my opinion, and take it for what it's worth, and I realize I'm back into this. Having some money in a local bank, I think would be perfectly fine as long as it doesn't exceed the amount that we're likely to need to pull out of the Indiana Trust account, because the Indiana Trust account obviously is a whole lot more flexible and more useful for our needs. Just for what it's worth.
So my understanding from what you're saying, it is tied into the stock market to some extent.
To some extent. And I think that organization stands between us and the risk of the stock market, but the returns can vary based on the market. And of course, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've gone from a high of 50,000 earlier in the year down to, I think this morning we're approaching 47, going down the other direction because of all the activity in the Gulf. Again, just something we need to be aware of that
It could vary
would
somewhat.
vary.
You know, being in a 3-6 range, you know, the stock market's going up 20-25%, you know,
Yes.
too. So we don't get that benefit.
Right.
So it appears to me that they're more in utilities and those kind of safer stocks that they most probably. be
Exactly.
into.
That is the guidelines associated with the
Yeah.
Indiana Trust
I think,
bylaws.
I mean, we could put it in, I do know Hoosier Hills, you can go and they'll match any rate that anybody has in the town, in the area. And you can withdraw that money out of there. You don't lose any principal. You might lose the interest on it if we want to do that. And we could most probably pick up 3.75. You know, we might pick up, you know, a point one.
It may not be worth the trouble.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So that's why I want to bring it to the board. So it's a board decision, so I just want to make everybody aware where everything's at. Does that make sense? Okay, are we gonna just leave it then in the Indiana Trust like we have it then? Is that what I'm understanding? Keep it where it's at?
Yeah, I don't see any reason to
I don't
change
see any
it.
motion to do anything else.
Okay.
Yep.
All
I
right.
don't
I didn't
have
know
a
if we
motion to
needed
do
it.
anything else.
I don't know if we needed a motion on that or not, so we don't, we'll just
Oh.
keep her there. And if we want to change it, we can change it, you know, that's not a problem. Next, I'm gonna go to the ramp account, and I gave everybody a copy of it. And I just need a motion here to approve this and then move forward on what the expenses were last month. There are more expenses on there this month than most probably will be in the future unless we do another show or something, because there's hotels on there, there's meals on there, things of that nature. So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve it, the ramp account expenses.
I'll make a second.
I got first and a second, all in favor of approving the ramp charges?
Item,
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
okay, I'm gonna go through and then I'll be done. Just on the checks, I can do it a couple of different ways. I can read all the checks and tell them what they are, and then we can make one motion to approve all of them, or we can approve each one as it goes through. So I don't know what the normal best procedure would be here. Any suggestions?
We just read them off and if we got a problem with it, we'll discuss them.
Okay, we have the city of Tell City for $833.33. We got the Deer Creek Bass Trail for $2,000 supporting a fishing tournament. We got the Hoosier Open Tournament, that's a fishing tournament too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another fishing tournament for $1,250. We got Morris Terry and Associates for $485. We got the Perry County Chamber of Commerce, our annual membership dues of $135. We got another sponsorship here, the Perry County Coon Club for $2,000. We got a UPS box, is that what this is?
No, the Postal Service, United States Postal Service.
Oh, the box
Yeah.
for that, for $88.
Post office box.
Post office box for $88. PSC charge $102.02. And then Eric Treader, $2,500.
Can we at some point, I know some of those can be ACH done and we don't have to approve it each one if it's budget, like we don't approve some of them, other like PSC, ACH, you don't have to write a check for it. Would save you time, or whoever time that writes, Wes, I guess, writes those, but we are to consider a few of those that's, if you want.
Yeah, I think we looked even in Eric's situation too, and from what I understand, there was some kind of charge. I need to check into
There's
this.
a charge for
There's a
that.
charge for
Yeah.
doing it, and
I don't know there was for PSC, PCH, because I do it, I've never seen a charge.
Yeah.
I mean, if it is, it
Maybe
must be very
PSC,
small.
maybe not, I don't know.
Yeah.
The other thing.
I need to check into that, because I'm not 100%.
Like
Well,
for
it's
the,
not that.
the CVB's phone is through the ramp chart, automatic debit, like, I mean, we could discuss doing that, like just bumping that for, the PSC or something, I don't know. Because like you said, to approve every month, those are,
Well, I'm gonna make a motion to approve these.
Well, I want to just go through you had Deer Creek Bass Trail for how much?
Okay, Deer Creek Bass Trail was $2,000,
Okay, we've got that budgeted. Hoosier Open, we
$1,250.
got that budgeted. Go ahead.
Morris Terry for $485.
Yeah, we got to pay him, so.
That was budgeted.
Okay. Did you have Indiana Bass Federation?
Yeah.
How much?
no,
No, wait a minute.
we had the Deer Creek and then the Hoosier Open. The Bass Federation tournament's in August.
Sorry. Hoosier Open is for $1,250, right?
Yeah, Hoosier Open's for $1,250.
Yeah, $1,250.
Okay, any other?
Morris Terry,
Yeah. I'm
The
talking
Coon Club
about
for $2,000.
marketing stuff.
Perry County Coon Club.
Perry County Coon Club, that's what I was looking for.
2,000. I know it's in there somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, for 2,000. Yeah, they're all budgeted for. I make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Got a first and a second. All in favor of approving those payments? Say aye. Any opposed?
I just abstain from the city's check, that's. the
Chris
one.
abstains from the cities. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, that's all I have.
That's all you got? Very good. They went pretty smooth.
Yeah.
We did all right. All right, next on the agenda is the director's report.
Okay.
And so we're going to discuss, we've had a couple of things going on, the Indy Boat Show, we've got website launch, we've got digital marketing, so.
I got one thing I gotta add, if you don't mind. One of the things, from the treasurer's perspective, I found out, and I didn't know this, but, Eric and I attended the boat shows and stuff, so we had travel expenses, and, so on the Louisville Boat Show, we drove our vehicle, so there was mileage on that. So on the Indiana, on the federal side, they got a 70 cent mileage rate, okay, that you have. And I always felt that, the county might have a different rate, so I contacted commissioners and other different people, and nobody really knew until I got a hold of Chris Hammock. And then Chris finally, after we filled out all of our expense reports, found out that the county pays 49 cents on mileage. So just be aware that, if you're going to shows or something and returning an expense report, right now it's 49 cents. So 6 months from now it could change, but so we need.
Well, it ought to change. It ought to change today.
Yeah, I just
Because
said,
IRS says you can charge 70 cents. Why would the county not offer the full 70 cents?
I know state and federal usually was lower. I just knew, from my
Right.
past experience, but I'm just saying we need to check with them. So that, I don't know who, that would be who would recruit, that'd be the county council, I guess, right? That would change that.
I'm unsure, but I'll ask.
But it's 49 cents as we speak today. And Eric and I have to redo our expense reports because I have two and he has some too. So that'll be coming in the next thing. It'll be a month late. I'm just.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
All right, director's report.
Okay. We had the Indy Boat Show went well. We handed out over 450 brochures. I set these up, like I said, I already talked about the cabin brochure and stuff. We have a 10 by 10 booth, or not brochure, but banner. And, it's a different vibe. I think a lot of people in Louisville are going to make a day trip to Perry County and they're going to go fishing in Lake Salina or hit our campgrounds up and this and that. A lot of local people and a lot of people we spoke to in Indy, are going to make the weekend trip down, asking about cabins and stuff. So we didn't hand out quite as many brochures, but I think plus the Indy show was far bigger. There was There was a giant room with just boats, giant hall with just campers. They had bass boats. There was a whole tackle town was a giant auditorium of just like fishing gear. Plus the deer and turkey show on the second weekend really brought in a lot more people than the first weekend and stuff. And then they had rooms of other things. So I think people are more hesitant to grab brochures, grab this and that because they're already carrying all this stuff and going through these huge halls. But the interactions we did have were very positive and stuff. We were in a good spot. And I thought we made a positive impact. So, and hopefully we got some people down here. We did have the two drawing giveaways. The folks, I contacted them, the $100 gift certificates from the chamber, and mailed those last week. So
Good.
Yeah, good, positive, filling out that and stuff, getting information. Already went over the Holiday Inn thing. Our website went live on February 20th, which was the first day of the Indy Boat Travel and Recreation Show. And along with, we've been launching the digital marketing campaign. We've had ads appear at over 35,000 feeds, 15,459 people were reached with 649 people clicking on ads and visited the website. So I've got this report from Two Ladders that I just got yesterday afternoon, if anyone wants to look through it. So we are just starting that out. And, there's always growing pains with this and that, but we're getting going.
I'd like to make a suggestion
Mhm.
for possibly next month. You might check with them to see if they would come in and give us a 10-minute overview of the campaigns thus far, along with Google Analytics and some of the specific statistics that they can garner from our campaign. So we can know what our frequencies are. We know how many people we're reaching, who are we reaching, how far away, all that. And they're able to give that kind of information. So
Sure.
you might reach out to Jenna to see if she could give us 10 or 15 minutes next month
Okay.
to give us a summary.
I'd like to have some clarity from my perspective as well. We're paying $36,000 for this campaign, and I want to know the target markets. I mean, we're a recreation county, so and I know the hits and stuff. So I want to understand from them, are they targeting the turkey hunters for deer season, the turkey hunters for turkey season, deer hunters for deer season, fishing tournaments, scenic route, Schnugel Village, Schweitzer Fest, all of that. Is that a target for them, or is it just a generality of going out and promoting the county? So I'd like to have more specifics in that.
Okay. And I had that discussion with them as far as, well, how do you target somebody? Do you target an age group? Do you target a, economic group? Do you target, search words are big, I believe. We had talked about that, like, well, you can't technically search out everybody with a fishing license. You'd have to be actively Googling fishing or something, or using that, and how that exactly works when you talk about different areas and stuff too, different regions, things like that. And I would like them to, talk with us and explain that further, so everyone.
We'll see what I envision is you meeting with them at least on a monthly basis to tell them this is the focus. See, they can't read our minds. They have to know from you what our focus is. So if next month's turkey season, they need to be focusing on turkey season right now. Whenever deer season comes, they need to start focusing on that 6 weeks before. So what I would recommend is when you talk with Jenna is that you guys put together a calendar for the rest of the year as to the major things that are going on, whether it be Schweitzer Fest, Schubel Little, the Dogwood Tour, deer season. There's all kinds of stuff for us to focus on. And that's what they do. They just have to be told what to focus on.
So I have that calendar and they have that calendar, and I've done a monthly calendar on different events and
Awesome.
what's going on and the seasons and all that stuff.
Good.
I do question talking to people in Indy. what's bringing people to Perry County. And obviously, people are hunting here and people are fishing here, but the people that come to that cabin and stay on a dead end road in Magnet, or, you know, as opposed to the fishermen that stay at, I talked to the lady at the Ramada Inn just this week, you know, talked to her about the fishing tournaments and stuff that we're going to have because they have a reduced rate for fishermen, and to let, you know, the guys that are organizing the tournaments know, like the one in June, assuming Holiday Inn's not open by then, hey, point people in the direction of Ramada. But who's going where and why? And it's easy to say, yeah, turkey hunters. Well, I don't know how many people are staying here from outside the county to go turkey hunting versus camping at the campground or staying at their uncle's place and stuff like that. You know, quantifying those visitors and stuff. I think a lot of people are just coming to this county looking to get away. A lot of them are retired, probably. We're definitely going to go after, you know, the big theme park that's right next door when that season happens. You know, looking at stuff like that. I talked to that about that, you know, our distance from that and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm learning more and more week by week, but yeah, we're just starting this thing. We're just getting it rolling. So
One thing I'd just like to add, I attended the Louisville Boat Show for three or 4 days and the Indianapolis Boat Show for Friday through Sunday. So he was up there a lot longer than I was, but it's a little bit interesting is Louisville, you know, Kentucky's got a lot to offer. They got Nolan Lake and, you know, all these different lakes and things of that nature from that side west, so they can camp and hunt and fish down that way. But, you know, they can come over here and camp. A lot of them don't realize that they're only, from the camper's perspective, an hour away. I mean, that was sort of an interesting thing from the Louisville Boat Show. And I think it sort of helped us develop a little bit in regards to where we really need to put our brochures, you know, out into the areas. And do we really need to go to Lexington and Eastern Kentucky where, I don't know, but Indianapolis, that area and western side, because it's not as much parks and lakes and rivers and things of that nature, do we target that area? And from my cabin perspective, I can tell you that they come from Mattoon, Illinois, Clinton, Indiana, you know, Posey County, you know, Indianapolis, Zionsville. I mean, once in a while we'll get some from Cincinnati and places like that, but that's where they mostly come from. So I thought it was sort of interesting from that perspective. When we were at the Indianapolis Boat Show, and like I said, Eric was up there, but I was there when the turkey and what was it, turkey and deer
Expo, yeah.
was an extra day, and there was a building as big as a football field. I mean, it's unbelievable. That's just a gigantic show. Linda, you've been there many times, but it's on. If you've never been there, you should go. It could be a 2 or 3 day event. That's how big it is. But it was interesting as we was talking. You know, do you know where Perry County is, or no, I don't really know where Perry County is. But when you talk about Holiday World or Fridge, oh yeah, I've been there all the time. I go there once a year. So we had a relationship, and as soon as you said that, they instantly knew where we were at. So, and also French Lick. We do have those draw areas. We just need to draw them here, you know, from there and stay here. And we talked about that quite extensively with the cabins, you know, why stay at Holiday World when it's, you know, really commercialized, and you come here and be more pristine and relaxed, and then you can go there if you want to go there. So I thought that was an interesting, I mean, that's what I learned from attending those shows, as, you know, presenting Perry County as a recreation county. And I personally, I think, and Eric, he's the driver here, but I think those shows were extremely valuable for us. I think we learned a lot from it, and I think that we need to continue that in the future and do more of those kind of things, trying to draw people into the county.
Yeah, and I also think because of Steve's questions regarding who we're targeting, how that works and everything, I'm going to reiterate, I think it'd be important for them to come in here and give us a tutorial on how they're creating these campaigns so we can answer some of those questions.
I would like to see that list. I think it would be good for the board to see that list, and maybe we review, we might have some other suggestions to add to that, or you know, disqualify some of them too, but it would just be good to see that. And then, because I'm a hunter and I'm somewhat of a halfway fisherman, but I'm more of a hunter and I'm definitely a boater. And I just want to see how they're targeting them. How far I'm thinking 200-mile radius or whatever would be good to do for us, at least 200 miles. I think that's going to be our draw area from what I see.
Right?
One other thing, I got a call from Scott Childers, who's the president of the Indiana Slab Masters Tournament. It's the weekend after a bass tournament at Rocky Point. It's on August 29th, which is Saturday, with a practice day that Friday. So fishermen will come in, fish Friday, stay Friday night, fish all day Saturday, possibly stay Saturday night.
Who is Scott Childers?
He's the president of the Indiana Slab Masters Tournament. I don't know where he is out of.
Slab Masters, are they referring to crappie?
Crappie, it's a crappie tournament
Okay.
at Rocky Point. Sorry.
Okay, I think
I was gonna get to that.
I knew you were going, I thought, but
So it's a crappie tournament, and they have 9 other locations, including Katoka, Monroe, Brookville Reservoir, around the state, some up north. And he said, yeah, some of the northern guys probably won't come all the way down here, and just like some of the northern guys don't go, or southern guys don't go all the way up north, but expecting turnout similar to a bass tournament with 60 to 90 boats, staying in the county, spending money here, etc. I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. He had reached out because I think he talked to possibly Kelly Hook with the Indiana Bass Federation, and pointed Scott in our direction.
How many boats you think it comes?
He said 60 to 90,
Wow.
somewhere in the 70 to 80 range.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I think for
That's a lot.
the bass tournaments, I don't know how many. It's
30 or 40.
Okay.
I mean,
where
but
they
that's, be that as it may, if he thinks he can get 60, that's great.
well, it's August, hopefully Holiday Inn's open, because of where they're going to stay. I mean,
Cabins.
or they I hope so.
So hopefully by August, the Holiday Inn will be open.
Well, see, and that's where Eric might be able to help him out a little bit to point him in that direction.
Sure.
We're going to get things like this that pop up. I actually, Eric, did you have more you want to say about that organization?
Not about that organization, no. I just
Well,
wanted
So how much are they asking?
they
for?
didn't have a set amount.
No.
He just called and made me aware.
Well, see, along the same lines, I got a call from the vice president of the ICA, which is the Indiana Catfish Association, and they are, I don't even think, Steve and I haven't talked about this yet, but they want to do a tournament in Derby the week of, or on Saturday, September 26th. And they're wanting to come, they're wanting parking places or spaces. They're thinking 25 to 30 boats. And they're also wanting a food truck out there. They're trying to do this right. And they said, he said, first of all, he said, I just want to let you know this is what we want. And we want to make sure that the ramp's available for us. And the second thing is, he said, I'm not calling to solicit money, but he said, the more money we have for prize money, the more interest we're going to have for people coming here. And these guys are out of Indianapolis, so they're coming from outside the county to come here. So that might be something we could bring back up to see if this might be something we want to support.
Can I ask a crazy thought on both Scott's and who's the guy with the Derby, the tournament?
The Indiana Catfish Association, his name is Frank Wasilla.
Okay. You got 60 to 90 boats with the crappie, and then what you just said, the 25 to 30 boats, and they're asking maybe for donation. What if we hosted like an evening dinner the night before? So Friday night, he said they're coming in, like at the Poorhouse or Marcy's or something like that, where we kind of roll out this hospitality welcome for them, and that puts money that we pay for that back into Marcy's or the Poorhouse or patio, wherever. It helps support our club, but also shows hospitality and keeps people here. A dinner. We used to do that for like turkey people and maybe the fish, but I know the turkey. I've been to that one, and the might have been the plot days too. We might have done hosted the dinner.
The moose.
But it's just a thought.
Yep.
Because that puts money back into the economy locally as well, and it's a twofold.
Yep.
So just a thought.
I think it's a good thought. Very good. Anything else, Eric?
No, that'll do.
When do you need to know on that, Eric?
I mean, the tournament's not till late August, so.
We probably ought to put it on the agenda for next month.
We'll tell him.
Eric, would it be too much trouble if you give an awesome report, write that up in like a one-pager document we all get? Or two?
This report for you, yeah,
Because you told me a lot of good information. I gotta get another pen here.
I could do that, yeah, I meant to send these out with, like, updating them. I could do that next.
Just like
next
monthly
month.
reports,
Yeah.
just 1 page, 2 page, just, because that's good information. And we forget it if we don't see it all the time in front of us, or at least have it in our folders.
If you want my help with scheduling a summary meeting with 2 ladders, I can help you with kind of what I think would be appropriate for that meeting. But we did the same thing really whenever we were recruiting for your position, is we'd bring them in and they'd tell us, how many people they reached, how far out they went, how they targeted. That's stuff I think the board needs to know.
Okay.
All right?
I think you ought to make a report at least once a quarter, if not more often.
Oh, yeah, at least once a quarter. I agree.
Yeah. If not more often. I mean, if they want to come in here every meeting and just give us a 5-minute deal, whatever, I'm just saying, more we know, the better off we are.
All right, next item on the agenda is social media discussion. I wanted to have this discussion about social media, especially since we have an agreement with a company that's helped us launch our social media campaign. We've got a website that's brand new that's launched. But as it pertains to social media, and I've talked to Chris a couple times this past month, currently, as I understand it, if you understand how Facebook works, there's a hierarchy of access to our page. There's administrator level, which basically gives that person total access to the Facebook page. You can launch ads, you can launch posts, you can do all kinds of content. It gives you that ability to do that. Now, the administrator then has the ability to grant access to other people, sub-administrators, if you will. Currently, as I understand it, the people who hold the administrative level is Chris,
Mhm.
Cindy with an I, Cindy Taylor. And I'm not real sure where you stand in this, Eric. Are you granted
Me and
administrator
Chris
staff?
are administrators,
Okay,
so we have like kind of control over it. We can add people to it, so,
okay, so you are so you have co-administrators, that's you and Chris.
correct.
And then Cindy Taylor has that access
Like,
as well.
Yeah, I don't know what the term is, user or administrator.
2 ladders has to have access to it so they can launch campaigns.
And both of them do.
They do too.
Jenna and-
They have to add, they have the full power to anything.
So now you got Chris, you got Cindy, you got Eric, you got Jenna, and you got Caleb. You got 5 people that's got access to our Facebook page. And I just want the board to know that, and I want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with that level of access. Because basically what that means is any one of those individuals could go in and change anything on that Facebook page. I'm a little leery of having that many people with access. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
One thing you got to keep in mind on our Facebook page, any social media, that we cannot, now that we are under this government entity more than it was a nonprofit, we are subject to more open door law things where if somebody makes a comment under one of our posts that may not be favorable or we don't like it, we can't hide it, we can't delete it, we have to leave it. If they say, I come to Perry County, I had a horrible experience, I've never come back, don't recommend it, we can't hide or delete that. We can't block users from that page. It's, there's criteria for that. So
See, that's part of my problem here
you gotta be
is that
careful.
Certain users in the county have been blocked.
Yeah. And
I don't know who blocked them.
it shows it. You can pull the thread of who actually did what on there. It will tell you
Well,
who.
then I would ask you to do that. I can't.
I don't remember how to do it. I remember seeing it a while back.
Jenna and Caleb.
They know how
Shall
to.
I?
Well, in any case, we need to unblock people.
Oh, I agree.
That's exactly right. The other thing, and again, I'm not asking for a vote. I'm not asking to kick anybody off. I'm not asking to do any of that. I just want the board to know that we've got a lot of people with access to that.
I like to make a comment. I think we need to limit it down. To what number, I don't know. But I do know that we had a unauthorized post in the past that was put on there, and there was an individual that was highly upset about it because they never approved it. So if we get those kind of things, we can get open for liable for lawsuits and things of that nature. So therefore, I think we need a funnel of approval process of one or two people that we filter this through, who we feel confident in order to make sure it's okay. If you got 5 or 6 people posting on there, something's going to happen one of these days, and it's not going to be favorable for us. So I think we need to limit down the amount of it if we want to keep them all there. But somebody has to have a final approval of it if the other 4 want to do it. So that's where I'm coming from.
I think it should go down to
Hierarchy doesn't
2.
solve that problem.
I'm sorry, what you said?
Did the hierarchy that Barry described, that doesn't solve that problem?
We've got too many people with access right now.
Yeah, you have the,
They don't have to go through the,
right, I mean, personally, I think it should be our director and then our contractor with 2 ladders making the posts, and that's it. Period.
I totally agree with
I
that.
don't want, the one time I've ever even made that 1 or 2 posts was maybe an agenda and might have shared, but that's when we didn't have a director even, so.
And I'm not calling anybody out, but
Yeah.
because I don't know exactly who could have done this. Or back in January, there was a picture that was posted on the Perry County Convention Visitors Bureau Facebook page that solicited or elicited this response. It said, "Check it out, I'm famous, seeing as how the Perry County Visitors Bureau decided to use a photo of one of my backpacking trips from my personal page without my consent." We can't have that.
I agree.
We got to stop that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So that individual was contacted, and appropriate apologies were made, and we corrected it. But that is what brought up this issue of who should have access, right? Or if we have more access than just those 2 entities, then the people need to understand that they can't post. We've got a company that's doing that for us. And you need to maintain some consistency in the messaging, right? So
I make a motion that it's Eric and 2 ladders, and that Eric has authority over 2 ladders as well, because Eric attends the board meetings, is on there. And he would be our filter to keep us totally informed as to what's going on, and we can have 2 ladders come in and do their presentations as well. I think if we have more than that, you're gonna have, you're gonna be pointing fingers, well, you did this, or, did those different things. So I think we need to really narrow it down. I agree with Chris on that, and I would make that motion, actually.
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second, and the motion is to grant administrative access to Eric, who in turn would grant access to 2 ladders, correct? Do I have that right?
Well, I thought it was, there was only to make the post. Is that what you mean? Making comments. You'd have your admins, but they can't, we won't, since I have the admin access, you won't see a board member make posts. Only Eric can actually post on our page. That's why it's only coming from 1 person. That's what I thought, Steve, that.
Let's back it up then, because I want to make sure that everybody's under the same.
Maybe I misunderstood.
My understanding is that his motion was to grant administrative status to Eric and 2 ladders and no one else. I'm not saying that's what we should do. That's what I understood the motion to be.
That's what I made
Oh.
the motion on.
So that's not what you're saying.
No, because I say that because I think you should have at least 1 board member have the admin in case Eric leaves or heaven forbid we fire him or something, he's disgruntled, he has complete access to information, he can block us from ever getting back.
I agree with that.
I've been on boards, that's happened already, and they're like, it's hell to get back, and that's.
In all fairness, that could happen from a board member.
It could too, it could, and I'm just trying to protect our future endeavors and our followers, and
So what if we had Chris stay as administrator and have Eric as administrator and 2 ladders as administrator?
But Eric would have final authority over both.
yes,
Well-
over posting.
Over
And
posting.
Chris would.
I don't want to post.
We would share, well,
Well,
we could share
If
that.
some- if
We could
something
share that
happens-
as administrative.
Well, no.
We need to stop people from
Yeah.
posting unauthorized.
Yeah, I want to post on that.
Well,
And I'm fine with that too.
I am too.
Okay, so that's the motion.
Okay, so let's re-motion. I have a motion on the floor that grants Chris and Eric and Two Ladders administrative access to Facebook page, correct?
Yes.
And I have one motion. Do I have a second?
But Eric has final authority unless something would happen to him, then it would fall
Well,
back.
again, he would be administrator, and then he would have to grant administrative access to the other two parties,
Correct.
correct?
Yep.
May I have a second?
Second.
So you made the motion?
No, you made the original motion.
Steve made the motion, I seconded it. Is that?
Second. All
Okay.
right. All in favor of the motion as stated?
Aye.
Say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Aye. Thank you.
Eric, you're gonna have to work with Two Ladders to get that administrative homework done.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
Very good. Thank you guys for that. All right, next one and last item on the agenda is a discussion and vote, if we need to vote, discussion on the executive director office location. It's been, I always looked at this as phases. And the one phase is we were unsure as the board as to whether we were going to stay at the depot or not. But we were tied to a 12-month lease that required a 60-day notice if we were going to vacate that lease. So I approached the city about going to a month-to-month lease, which they approved that as of April the 12th, beginning then, we would be on a month-to-month lease. So I'm open for discussions on where we want to go from there.
Well, I make a motion that I'm open, my discussion is, we're reduced in revenue right now considerably for the next 4 or 5 months. Our director is not a employee, he's an independent contractor, and therefore, our direction to him in the past is that he needs to be out and about. We bought him drones, he's got a number of things that he's doing out in the county, taking pictures and things of that nature, and meeting with cabin owners, attending boat shows and ITA conventions, et cetera, et cetera. So therefore, I don't see a necessity to have a permanent office, so to speak, there where we're paying rent on it. I think it's a beautiful building. I think it would be great if somebody could go in there and do it independently and do a gift shop or retail operation or put offices in there or whatever. But he's not there that much. And my personal opinion is, if we could temporarily go to the annex, if there would anything ever open up in the middle of the county, like we talked about going to up to the clinic or therefore closer to the interstate in the future, that would be great. But we could save us most probably $13,000 a year with rent and internet and liability insurance that's coming up as well. Save us quite a bit of money in that aspect. So my feeling is that we should make the move and do it. So as of move out April 12th or whenever we want to move out.
Well, we'd have to give them some notice. If we were to do that, and I'd have to talk with the city about how much notice they want, I would say it'd be at least a 30-day notice, if not a 60-day notice.
Right.
So I'd have to clarify that.
I'd
Just
like to hear from Eric as to what his thinking is.
Well, and I know there's a lot of emotion with that depot and what it was and what it is, and I've said this before, you guys have heard me say that. I think I've heard a lot of people in the community, honestly, they say, oh, we reopened the gift shop, and I don't think that's practical for a single director without an assistant to operate a gift shop, to man a visitor center and stuff. I talked to the ITA yesterday, Carrie Lampert, and she seconded that. I'm like, yeah, a lot of the places that have that are multiple staff members, and just what I need is an office. Monday, I did photos for an organic post. I was out in the county. I was in Troy. I was in Tell City. I was all around. I did some drone shots the other day. Yeah, I am out and about, building up that material for the Facebook page, for the website and this and that. So I just need an office building to save that, $11,000 to $12,000, I think would be, I would prefer to use that for additional advertising for organizations, for whatever the value added, money spent on tourism, so to speak, instead of having a really cool office building. That's my 2 cents.
Anybody got anything else for discussion?
I mean, I know about a year ago, one of our meetings, we had quite a few public members there talk about it, and some even offered to pay our rent. If you remember from wanting us to stay there, Derek Cronin from the poorhouse was there, and I think he was one, or maybe it was Joseph even mentioned he wanted to do that because he saw the importance of having that there. And, I think we are as a CVB tourism, we're missing an opportunity of not having something accessible to the public to even come to. Location-wise, I do think the annex is not the best. When we went out there, there was, to really do the autopsies, it's not the most pleasant place. And if you're gonna, I would support it more if you had an office here in the courthouse, I think would be more appropriate. But I don't know if they have a room here that would work. But I do like us down there. I think it's important, there's a lot of great things going on in that area and continuing more and more. And for us to leave that area, I think is a mistake, but it's up to this board.
I think a room in the courthouse would be excellent too. I talked to the commissioners about that months ago, and at one time they had a room, and then that went by the wayside. So, Eric can meet people anywhere, with our new brochure that we have with his telephone number on the back. He's got a Perry County Visitor Bureau cell phone. That number's on all of that, plus the website, when those people call, he can meet them wherever he wants to meet them, at a restaurant or at a library or whatever. So, and I don't degrade the depot. I think the depot is a beautiful place too, don't get me wrong. But I'd still like to see the office being more centrally located in the county in the future sometime as well. So I think I'm going to make a motion that we move out of the depot and give them 30 or 60-day notice or whatever the city,
Whatever they want.
whatever the city wants to make it more feasible. So I'm making that motion. Anybody second it?
Do I hear a second?
I second it.
I've got a motion and a second to provide notice to the city that we would be vacating the office at the depot. Do I have that motion correct? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Hi.
I believe we got it covered 3-2.
Correct.
Is that right? Motion carries. So,
I would like to make a comment on that. I know that's tough for people. I know what that place meant to people. And I love visitor centers. I was at Davis, West Virginia's visitor center a few months ago when we were in Colorado last year. I went to several visitor centers. I've been to Perry County, Kentucky's visitor center. And I think that unfortunately things like that are going by the wayside. And I think the value of having a gift shop and having a visitor center with that train there, it all went hand in hand. The train depot, the office for the CVB, the gift shop, all of that stuff kind of went together. And without the train, it takes away that value added from that location. And just moving forward, I think the board, not the entire board, was moving in that direction and what we want to do with this office and stuff. And I do apologize for any hurt feelings and whatnot, but I do think when reminded from other directors and stuff and the ITA, what is best for your visitors, I do believe saving that money, putting it towards other assets is value added and is best for our visitors. Thank you.
And the way it's organized, the way we're organized right now, it's not functioning as a visitor center.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
it's not.
at some point in time, if the Hampton Inn comes back, or comes in and we get a little more activity, again, different organization, we may relook at the situation, but as of right now, the reason I seconded this because it is not functioning as the thing that we're paying rent for, so.
So I want to say this. I've been on this board 29 straight years, and then this last year I went off the board and now I'm back on. I too have been to many, many visitor center. I was even at a visitor center day before yesterday in Holiday World. You don't see their visitor center being 5 or 6 miles away from Holiday World. Their visitor center is right there in the town. I also ran a business for 28 years in Madisonville, Kentucky. You don't see visitor centers being away from the city because that's where your hotels are. That's where who houses more people. I grew up with my family owning a motel and restaurant. People that come to this area, yeah, you're going to have hunters and fishermen and all that, but not the magnitude of people that you're going to have staying in our hotels or eating at our local restaurants. If, let's say, Derby had a hotel or Derby had more restaurants than what they have now, it would be a whole totally different situation. I would say, yeah, that makes more sense. It doesn't make sense today because what's going to happen, and I know this for a fact, and I already know that there's somebody that wants to be in, I know 2 people that want to go in that depot. So we can sit here and say all day long, well, if the Hampton Inn comes back, they end up building the Hampton Inn, maybe we can relocate or whatever. But I already know 2 businesses that want to go in that depot. But what's going to happen, they're going to rent that depot out. Am I interrupting you, Steve?
No.
They're going to rent that depot out to somebody else, and then we're going to be sitting there thinking, God, we should have never left. We got the hotel down there, we got restaurants down there and all that. How many cabins do we have in Derby? Let me ask that question.
I don't know the exact count. Eric probably does. There's, I don't know, 35 to 40 of them between Poison Creek and Magna.
You know what I'm saying? Just Derby, how much do we have? How many cabins do we have in that area?
About 15.
So 15 or 20 can house as many people as Holiday Inn or Ramada Inn or Day Stop, whatever that's called, for people that's coming to Holiday World. So that's my only point. It's already a dead issue. You voted to leave, but I'm just saying you all are not thinking outside the box. It's going to be rented out to somebody else, and we're going to be sitting sucking hind tit to be able to go back there. So that's all I have to say.
Okay. All right. Well, that's everything on the agenda. I can entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
You second?
Second.
All in favor?
Item.
We stand adjourned. Thank you.
You gotta turn off your recording. I don't know how you do that, though. Is that it, or is it that red thing up in the top right corner? What's that do up there? It's, well, you gotta close that out.
That chamber membership check that you're signing, if you'd like, I'll take it back to the office and you won't have to mail it.
Okay,
Save you
that's
some cents.
I appreciate
I'll
that.
get it right back to work.
Let me get City of Tell City.